Dwight D. Eisenhower met with extraterrestrials in 1954 and in 1955, and they told him to stop making nukes. Let me explain. In February of 1954, the 34th president of the United States, Dwight D. Eisenhower, was in the early stages of his new presidency. He was elected the year prior in 1953, and before that, he was a decorated military man and actually served as the supreme commander of the Allied Expeditionary Forces during World War II. He also achieved the 5-star rank of general in the Army. Now, I'm telling you all that to show you how this man wasn't dumb and he knew what he was doing. So anyways, back to the story. In February of 1954, Eisenhower went on vacation to Palm Springs, California for a couple weeks. But on the first Saturday of this trip, he wasn't seen at all. At all. So for a full 24 hours, no one knew where the president of the US was, or so they say. Now that's a big deal if you didn't know. Tabs are kept on the president at all times to make sure, they're okay, that they're doing okay, they're not dying or whatever. So for 24 hours, this man was missing to the public eye. And during that 24-hour period, he actually missed a public dinner that he was scheduled to be at, which is also a big thing for a president. They typically don't dodge that sort of public thing. Of course, with a missing president, the press started to ask, where's Dwight at? And the White House's answer was that he was seeing a dentist. But when pushed even further for his dental records, it was found that no appointment was made during the trip to Palm Springs. And after that dentist story fell through, the same night, several news outlets, including the Associated Press, made reports that Eisenhower actually died from a heart attack while at Palm Springs. And there's even a picture of him in a wheelchair and news headlines saying that he died. But just minutes after this was made public, they took it back and instead they said, yeah, he had a heart attack, but he's fine. He's not dead. Insider reports claimed that the president was taken to Edwards Air Force Base on that Saturday, which is in the California desert, just a few hours from Palm Springs. Now this is when the story gets crazy. When he arrived at the Air Force Base, several whistleblowers claimed that he met with, quote, Nordic extraterrestrials, which is a pretty interesting way to describe ETs. There's been some whistleblowers that have described what they look like to artists, and these are some of the renditions that have been made. Now, these Nordic ETs supposedly asked Eisenhower to stop all work on the USA's nuclear program and to never start it back up again. But of course, he refused the request, which that takes some balls, bro. I mean, imagine standing next to someone from space and them saying, hey, don't make any more world-ending nukes. That's not a good thing. And then he just says, nah, I'm good. That'd be so funny, dude. The crazy thing is that this interaction with Nordic ETs in 1954 isn't even the only interaction that Eisenhower had with ET life. Because a year later in 1955, it said that the president met multiple times with different races of ETs. These races were not Nordic. These meetings took place at Holloman Air Force Base, which in and of itself has been a hotspot for UFO activity. And this base is in New Mexico, not far from the Roswell UFO crash site. According to a few more whistleblowers, this second meeting at Holloman's with the ETs was the first meeting with the Greys. Now, during this meeting, the whistleblowers on the case say that the Greys gave Eisenhower's administration extremely advanced technology as some kind of treaty. Now, in turn for this technology, the Earth would provide the aliens with some sort of minerals and pretty much just resources from the Earth we would give to them, and supposedly allow them to abduct people. And during this meeting, the public was told that the president was on another vacation, and that's why he wasn't being seen or attending events. People inside and outside of the Holloman AFB claimed that 3 UFOs touched down and landed at the base during the meeting. And once they did, the president supposedly toured one or multiple of the alien ships. Now, of course, all of this information is coming from whistleblowers, reports, and from people who were there at the time. So you may think some of it's embellished, but there's no way that it all is. And the years after meeting at Holloman's, there's been many UFO sightings and encounters near and around the area. And there's been one important person who says that all of it actually happened. And this person is the most credible witness on the case. Her name is Laura Eisenhower, and she is Dwight Eisenhower's great-granddaughter. Laura has kept her story straight for her entire life and claims to have interfamilial knowledge that confirms this meeting with ETs. She's appeared in multiple interviews, TV shows, podcasts, and told the story that you're about to hear. It's pretty insane, so buckle up.
Do you believe that your great-grandfather, Dwight D. Eisenhower, signed a treaty with extraterrestrials?
It's a true story. What I've learned about Eisenhower's relationship to extraterrestrial beings and ET government treaties is that supposedly in 1954 there was a meeting at Edwards Air Force Base. They seemed to have diplomatic intention. Treaties had to do with bartering exchanges of planetary goods, natural resources, elements, and compounds. And it was in exchange for things like abduction. We need our DNA.
So yeah, there was newspaper headlines, lies about Dwight's whereabouts, whistleblowers, eyewitness encounters, and his own great-granddaughter all claiming that on multiple occasions, Eisenhower and his administration met with extraterrestrial life. Are they all lying? Well, that's pretty doubtful. They have nothing to gain by lying. Now, are some of them lying? I'm sure they are, but it would be foolish and naive to think they all are. What do you think?